Hi guys, and good evening to TFC episode 43. Okay, so this is the update event briefing. We've had some last minute adjustments, so I'm just quickly going to send a new set of slides to Andrew. But while we do that quickly, I'll just say hi to the admins. Ren, first of all, actually, mate, if you wouldn't mind just passing across to the guys that are actually watching the stream now about the brief that we just had from GDR and from Doom. Subject to change.
So yeah, we are. They gave us early information. Doom will be posting raid preview and everything. He expects late tonight or early morning tomorrow. We got access to the information right now, which is great. So we're going to be sharing it all with you guys, but with the caveat that is subject to change. So I think they're about 95% finished with the list. If we're lucky, it won't change at all, but just take everything you see here tonight with a grain of salt, because one item or the other may not be there, or the price point may be slightly different from what you see here tonight to what's going to be on the forum in a few hours or tomorrow morning.
Cool, thanks mate for that. So yeah, it's a precursor and that stuff. Andrew, I've just sent you the slides, mate. Hopefully you've got them there. So we've got some good slides for tonight, guys. Most of it is obviously about the prize pool and that sort of stuff, and the number of items you can get, and there are some interesting dynamics with some of the stuff that's coming out. So I'll just wait for Andrew to grab them up, and I'll share them, that sort of stuff. I'm just putting a bit of pressure on him because we only got the list a little while ago. While I am actually on, and we've got a couple of seconds, I'll just reiterate. I know Liam, who was hosting at the weekend, that stuff, we had a bit of an issue. I'll just confirm that there is actually an issue across most of the, for most people that stream on Hangouts, there is actually a technical issue. So anybody puts up a Google Hangout on a Facebook page, the link doesn't work. So you've got to put a sub link in for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but that's what has to happen. So it's affecting a lot of people at the moment. How are we doing, Andrew? We okay?
But can people watch your stream?
Oh, fine. Yeah, they can watch it. There's no problem at all. And watching it's fine. So
okay.
It's just that obviously when they go to click on the hyperlink, when you used to be able to do it in obviously from the page link, you've got to click the one below it as opposed to the one that's
in the title.
In the title, yeah. I'm not quite sure why it's like that. It happened on my own stream as well. I noticed it happened on a couple of the other shows as well. So it's not.
I posted the link on our TFC wall, so it's there. The YouTube. That one works.
That's okay. We've got those slides ready to go up, Andrew, have we?
Sam, you want them up there now?
Yeah, if you could, yeah. If you can share that, if you can bring them up, mate, and I'll share them when we can start.
Radio.
I'll just say quickly while we're just waiting for Andrew to bring up the slides, and thanks all for tuning in tonight. I know I guess the watch rate is going to be quite high, and I'll just say literally that Liam, obviously, as you know, is not on tonight. He is actually stuck at work, bless him. So that should be on present to everybody. So yeah, he's had to stay behind, do quite a late session on getting some cranes out or something. Some crazy people that don't celebrate Christmas, obviously. So anyway, here we go then. So it's TFC episode 42, as we said, 13th December 2016. As you see the caveat there on all the slides, you'll see everything is subject to change. So please, we're not actually going to upload tonight a PDF document on the page as we normally do. That will go live after Kixi have released the final version of the store. Okay, so they've let us have this one first, but this is a subject to final tweaks. Okay, so we all know the raid event itself is called Uprising, and we all know there was a preview, which we have discussed, but you know, we got in it and we looked at some of the targets, particularly the new one, the S target for Tier 6, which a few of us got to have a play with, and we've had quite a bit of feedback about that. So that's good. Next slide, Andrew, please. Okay, so everybody can see that. Then, in fact, Stu, you can take this one, mate, if you wouldn't mind. So, I know you're quite.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. So first things first. I don't know if we're doing this now or on the next one, but to get the Cannoneer, you do have to get the Zoe's Vendetta first.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so there was lots of chat, wasn't there? And it's been flying up and down about, well, we'll limit it to 3,000 people can get the Cannoneer, and then they thought, well, you know, that's what they did the ECM and that sort of stuff, and they changed their mind on that one. And then they said, well, we'll make it 100 million points and that sort of stuff. And people were like, 100 million points to get just one ship? That's ridiculous. So
But
this
I
is,
think it may be actually better this way because if you think of it this way, you're getting 2 ships now for the 100 million. So, well, 90
90.
million. You're just short,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, it's 90. Yeah, Brian, I'm interested in your thoughts on this one. What do you think?
Okay, so I had kind of internalized 100 million, and if I had seen that the Cannoneer on its own was 100 million, I was actually going to do a bit where I made you lock onto me, and then I would take my headset off and leave the room. But it's really interesting with this because yes, it's an artificial 90 million price point if all you want is the Cannoneer. And I know Doom posted a giant post in the thread listing a bunch of reasons about why the hull costs so much, and I can understand a lot of the reasoning, but there's a bit of a flaw in that, and that is that the highest end targets where a lot of people are going to go to get their points, they've enhanced the difficulty of it. Not only if you are only good at, I guess it's now the 105, the last S target from last raid. If you are only good at that, your points for that drop by about half, I want to say, just for normal kill, not kill and completion. And they added another target which is more difficult and takes time to figure out and time to do and learn your mechanics. So it's not really the same.
Rude.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Took me
I do
3
like that
tries
they
to get
put.
used to 105.
Yeah, I do like that they put a kind of a halfway mark here, so that if you can't get all the 90 million, you can at least walk away with a Zoe's Vendetta, even though that's going to be useless for a lot of people. There's still plenty to redeem in this raid store. You can buy all the tokens in a normal raid store, I think, for about 30 mil, maybe a little more. And there's a lot of great ships on offer. Go ahead, Ren.
I was just gonna say, don't discard the Zoe's Vendetta. I mean, you said it's gonna be useless for most people, but how about replacing the Harlock Citadel in base guard?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry. I was like, oh, well, maybe if you don't do PvP, you might not care about it. And then
Exactly. I thought, maybe even if you don't hit bases often or never, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I want a second Harlock Citadel, so when I'm using one for FM, I need one in my guard. So maybe that guy is going to be the one in the guard from now on, right?
So I just thought of what we'd have a quick look is just have a actually look at the actual holes that are in there. Okay, so we know obviously the Cannoneer's there and the Zoe's there, so you've got to get those two together. The Zealous as well. That's a reasonable price. 15 is a routine price for and that's quite an interesting hull. We can discuss that in a minute when the slide comes up. But yeah, again, Hellrace there, they brought the price down. Apollos are there as well. We know that without the Apollos, you're scuppered if you want to play the old mega ships and that sort of stuff. Citadel's a good price. I think that's too. Revenge as well, and Vendetta, Fury again as well. Really good things if you want to get into PvP and that sort of stuff. Your price lines come right down. Tideseekers, yeah, again for 5k. If you're thinking about, getting your uranium for this time next year, or sorry, for next year, throughout most of the year, that's the baby to get and that sort of stuff. So, Centurion.
And
Centurion.
I also think for anyone still trying to sort out FM, all the possible options are right in front of you. I mean, you have the Citadel for 7.5 million. If that's out of your reach, you have the Berserker for 1.7 million. You have where's the Nova Storm is somewhere in there for 750k.
Yeah.
If you're struggling with even next raid cycle, you don't have like a guy in my alliance was asking me, should I start building Crusaders? I'm like, no, wait, right? Because probably the Centurion is going to be there cheap. And look at it, 1.7 million points, and you get a Centurion, right?
That's a bargain.
Yeah, or 3 million points, you get a Punisher. I mean, I don't know which one's going to be better, but there are two options for you on the cheap for next raid cycle if you can get the Cannoneer, right? And I think they mentioned something about another hull like the Ironclad that's going to come later.
That's right, the Ironclad's the next one for January's raid, yeah.
It's not here. We don't know how it's going to look like. We don't know how hard it's going to be to get it, but there you go. If you don't want to be guessing, get the Centurion, get the Punisher, build them, rank them on VXP weekend, and then weaponize and armor them afterwards, right?
For those that haven't got a Centurion, don't underrate the hull. It's a niche market hull, but it really is a very, very good hull. So just don't underrate it. If you go stats par for par against the Punisher, you'll think to yourself, oh, it's not quite so good in some areas. But where it does have the jump is really, really important, and it makes a huge difference. I think it's a really strong hull.
Get the base parts from the mines.
Yeah.
And and you can
Well,
retrofit that too.
Yeah, here's the other thing too that we have to kind of remember, that they're making this price for the Cannoneer this high because they don't want to force people out of the next raid set. So the next raid set is supposed to be tuned kind of around the Centurion, more or less. And for the price that they have it, I think it's a really great idea. I'm iffy on the way they have the Cannoneer coming out for the price point, but everything else is looking really good. I mean, like Ren said, FM should be priority for everybody. If you haven't got that squared away, you have, I mean, the two best tanks, the Tideseeker and the Punisher, for reasonable prices. You have, the Citadel sitting there. I mean, it's a pretty good damn list, and we're just at the hulls right now.
Yeah.
Now, let me flip that over. Which hulls? I think there's a lot of hulls in there that I would not recommend anyone to get. For instance, I think it's a kind of a waste of time to get the Dreadnought X, which you can get by hitting salvages.
But also think about the fact that what's in the Forsaken that you can actually just normally research now.
Yeah,
there's a good cruiser in there as well, isn't there, which chucks out morts and stuff. There's a Dread in there as well, and obviously there's
and I think
the Portos Athos stuff.
Yeah, this being a hull raid, I think traditionally those go on for 7 days, right?
Yes.
So I didn't see that for a fact, but I think it runs for 6 days. This one.
Yeah, in fact, it's only 6 days, not 7. Yeah.
6, okay. But did you see confirmation that it's going to be 6 day long? I think it is, but I haven't seen it.
Well, we haven't
usually
seen
always 6 days.
Someone
End of the cycle, 6 days.
They've got
I think Laredo actually posted the dates.
Sorry, Laredo, did Laredo
posted
confirm
the
it's
dates.
6 days?
I think. Well, he posted the dates that they run in the forum somewhere, I believe.
Brian, can you jump on that, mate? Can you? And we'll get that confirmed.
So I do want to mention one other thing though too, is for the people that are like mid and low level players, that Nova Storm is fantastic because you can use it as a tank and your mortar chuckers, and as much as people are going to hate this, you can take out the islands on the 109s, so you can actually go from tier 1, tier 2 to maybe tier 3, tier 4 if you're a lower level.
Well, I know somebody that uses Nova Storms with a Tideseeker lead and does the 109s.
So Uprising 15th of December to 21st of December.
Super.
So
6 days then.
It is a 6 day raid. So I think people should aim low. If you have a little bit of time over 6 days, aim for at least the Nova Storm for FM, at least the Centurion for next raid cycle and mines, right? Don't go lower than that. Try getting the tights, and the other thing is don't waste points. That's the Centurion. That you shouldn't get the Punisher at the same time. Get one or the other.
Yeah, save your points until the very end. I mean, exactly,
and don't redeem them both, because I think that they're both going to be older as soon as we start getting the new generation of siege hulls. So they'll be less useful, and so get just one. So you can get going next raid cycle.
Yeah, or find out. Like I know me and Stu were talking in before the show, and like the Tideseeker, for example, is a great hull that has multiple uses. I mean, you can use it in your base defense. You can use it as a tank for the FM, and you can also use it for the uranium targets upcoming. So,
by the way, forget about tank. I mean, if you build them right for FM, in my alt account, I tried that 3 Tideseekers with RE3. And I can get to tier 4 real fast with 3 Tideseekers hitting 80s.
Nice. See, perfect.
Seekers.
I mean, but that's
they're not even ranked.
Like the Tideseeker, right? But like the Tideseeker is something that you would want to plan to, maybe shoot for that one if you need an all-around hull. You know what I mean? Like this is the type of stuff that you should ask either on our page or some of your alliance members and stuff about what you should be planning for to get and maximize what you get for your points. And as always, man, don't claim those points until near the end of the raid. You never know how much you're going to get or if you get any help.
Yeah, I was just wanted to say as well, for those that are really heavily interested in the PvP side of the games, perhaps you have everything on this list. All of the PvP holes are listed at 7.5 million. Vanquisher, Revenge, Vendetta, Fury. So if you don't have them, pick them up. They all have a use.
I think the same goes for the Defender, right? I missed the Valiant from this list. Maybe it's too recent to be offered again. To see
it's definitely
again here, but the Vanquisher is there.
brilliant option.
Right.
I mean, for a bit of
And-
thermal in your base, that slow infield that it produces, it's an awesome hull.
Okay, so look,
And I think the Vanquisher can pair up nicely with the weapons we'll be talking about soon.
yeah. I of all these things, if you're not one that's up there for the top kit, I really think you could do with getting the Tideseeker. Simply because if you can't get anything more, the Tideseeker, if you've got a month to build it, you'll be able to do next month's raid. So for the cheapest thing there, if you haven't got the subs, because look, they're 12.5 million, but if you can get the Tideseeker at 5 million, and yes, you do get a bit of damage, but I reckon you could probably build 2 or 3 of those for the next raid, and I think you'll be you'll be quite reasonable, because obviously I did a 107 target. If you saw my raid brief I did on the 107s, I managed to get a Tideseeker fleet to kill off things. So
The next month is Siege.
sorry,
Yeah, you mean
Sorry, buddy.
sorry, mate. Yeah, for this one. Yeah, sorry, but for the base parts and that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, my apologies. Yeah, but the Tideseeker is good for FM as well. We know it's staying for ages, so it's quite a versatile hull and it can do lots of things. The uranium is coming up in these sort of targets as well, so it's going to be ideal, I think, for the cheapest thing that's there anyway. But Centurion, yet again, well, I suppose Centurion's there is even cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah, you get
Yeah, but that's
Tideseeker for your FM and your chores, and you get your Centurion for your base parts in your next month. 6.75, bang.
Yeah, and that's 1 million points a day if you can do that, just over, so that's not bad, is it? That's quite a reasonable return, I think. Anyway, so what I thought we'd go is go have a look at some artwork, basically, just because we had some great pictures sent through. So look at the next slide, Andrew, if you wouldn't mind. So there we go. So that's the Cannoneer picture in full scat there. So I mean, that's a standard hull, isn't it? It's not a lead hull. So I don't know if there's a lead hull going to be coming out and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so a couple of people asking in chat then, is the Zealous a real thing? So I'll show you in a second. Yeah, so next picture. Okay, so there's the Zoe one. I like the colour scheme on that. It's quite decent, isn't it? So that is
Zoe Vendetta.
Yeah,
looks
so that's
really
the
good.
lady.
That is pretty and deadly.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I like that little side art too.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I like that. Should say TFC on it, but didn't. Anyway, no, and the next one again. And this is the interesting thing. This bizarre-looking beast here, this is the Generalist, isn't it? This one, is that right, Ren?
It's a new class. I mean, it's the Generalist, and I think this is Kixeye giving a nod to all the players complaining that now you got to stick to a class and there's no creativity and you got to build a different fit for each thing. So there you go. You have a Generalist hull. There are no specific buffs for any damage type, any type of weapon. So honestly, this guy with cannons, because you don't get the extra range for cannons built in the hull. But it can work great with missiles. It can work great with launchers. It can work great with maybe even mortars. I don't know, but not without the remote range. Maybe with that new thrower that came up recently.
I think it has countermeasures built in, if I'm not mistaken. So you can use it as like an agency type ship, because I think it gives a buff to the fleet as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So part of the idea of this guy is to actually work as a tank. Tank / CM countermeasures.
It's almost. It reminds me of like a modern day. What was the other thing we used to for the big tank? Used to throw launchers all the time. What was it? What was the bloody ship we used to use last couple of years ago? Can't remember what it was. We used to have a massive great thing. It was a tank and that sort of stuff. We used to send it in the bases.
Hellhound?
The Monarch?
No, it was the black one. What was it called? Black with the blinking stripes on the side of it. God almighty. It was a launcher ship. I can't remember. And then people started putting mortars on it and that sort of stuff. Anyway, that was a
The
tanking
nuclear
sort of
cruiser? No, not the nuclear cruiser.
Yeah, it was those sort of things anyway. But this is just a bizarre.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's something completely new. It's got some built-in countermeasures and that sort of stuff. It's
I would just caution people. I mean, when you build a Generalist hull, expect that it should be able to do multiple things, but it's not going to do them as well as the purpose-specific hull created for that one thing.
Juggernaut. That's it, Jeff.
It's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off. You're not going to do as well. You don't pay the piper when you're building, but you pay the piper in repairs probably later on.
Absolutely. We don't know the repair time, that sort of stuff. And actually, just pause 1 second. I'm just going to say hi to Patricia, who's actually in chat. And it's the first time in about a year I've actually managed to be on a show, and she's actually watching in. So good evening, young lady. How are you? So yeah, sorry, it's just somebody that's on the TFC page. I know I managed to see get to me actually on the shows, which he's been following for a long time, which is good news. So yeah, Generalist hull, probably not excellent at doing a certain thing, but probably generally quite good at going and doing things across the whole range.
Oh, looks like it's going to be slow and crap at turning.
Yeah, but Juggernaut was as well. But by God, sometimes if you built them right, they were good at their time. So let's just hope it's the same sort of thing. Don't know.
One last thing about this too is you're going to still need all of the different kinds of weapons and specials to put on this as well. You have the hull, and that's good. You may not need specific hull blueprints, but you've still got to put, speed and your particular defenses and your particular evade and your siege batteries and your mortars or launchers or cannons or whatever.
Yeah, although it is paired up with the new launcher, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a second when we come to weapons, because obviously we've got a bit of a hint as to what ships should take what weapon, and it might surprise some people. We'll go for the next slide if you want, Andrew, please. Okay, so here we go. We've got there's the launcher, which is actually the only new item on there. But there you go. That's the rest of the prize list. So Judgment Mortar, for those that want it, it's on there as well. Earthshaker Cannon, which we sort of understand it's quite expensive, but 4.5 million points there. It's a lot, but it is a good cannon, and obviously it adds armor points. And like I said to people before, for me, it's usable in many aerials and that sort of stuff. Squirrel Launcher is fantastic. It's 9 million points, and that's the go-to one for obviously for but not for the Cannoneer. Okay, there isn't actually no new weapon as yet for the Cannoneer. That's coming later. It's not the weapon for the Cannoneer. Okay, just bear that in mind.
We think.
Well, that was the information we got.
No. We know for a fact the Squall Launcher is the weapon for the Zealous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is no weapon being released now for the Cannoneer. The information we have is that probably there will be a new weapon special combo being released later. We don't know if it's going to be in FM, in a TLC, in the next raid, but there will be something, most likely.
The thing I like about this list is
not final yet.
It's the pack cannons there, and I think the price is great. Pack cannons not been out very often and that sort of stuff, and I think the price of it, I think it's really good because it packs a punch. It really does. I'm not saying we call it a pack cannon for no reason. It does work really, really well.
I was just about to say, for 900,000 points to get a chance of getting that magical blue shot, I'll pay that any day of the week.
It's a steal, I think.
And we can top that up. I mean, if you think about it, it's 1.7 million for the Centurion, 900 for the pack, and now so for 2.6 million, which is, I think, one A set gave you last month 2.6 million points, I think. And you're set. You have the Centurion, you have the pack. You build the shells, you rank them on next VXP weekend a little bit, and then you add the remaining weapon specials and everything. And, that, in my mind, should be enough for anyone to do B sets next raid.
Yeah. A lot of people missed the pack. I know that. I can't remember which raid it was in, but it was very highly priced, and it was in with the scents and that sort of stuff. And a lot of people didn't get the scents, and they didn't get the pack cannon and that sort of stuff. And I think this time round, they can do well.
I like this list. I'm sorry.
No, it's good, mate. It is. It's a good list, isn't it? Judgment Mortars is there for people as well, which is a nice thing to grab. If you can't get to tier 5, and you've got a whole week, if you're after that sort of stuff, it's there. Ren, I know you're unhappy about the price of the Earthshaker cannon, but hopefully they might change that.
No, not me. That was George. I mean, I thought it was too expensive as well, and I think George was the more vocal about it.
I think that should be at least half of what that is. I mean, for how old it is. I actually really like the price of the Arbalist and the pack, but I'm very happy that Pandemonium mortar is in there.
Yes.
That one's good. I don't know why the railgun is twice the amount of the Arbalist, but because the Arbalist usually, it seemed like it performed better than the railgun. But I mean, that pack and the Arbalist and the Pandemonium are fantastic at that price point.
Yeah.
I mean, and even the Coax Firestorm at 3.5 is great.
I must admit, personally, I've gone away from the Arbalist now, and now I go towards, obviously, the Crossbow 3. I know it's slightly shorter range and that sort of stuff, but actually I prefer it as a cannon, personally, now that it obviously can fire on the move, as it never used to be able to do. But I think if they dropped the Earthshaker price down and stuck it between the concussive Gatling gun and the railgun, I think then that'd be a fair place, and put it like you say 2 to 2.5. And why do we say the expensiveness of the Earthshaker cannon? Well, because it's a splash weapon for a start, and the others there aren't. The Railgun particularly. But what's nice about it is it gives you the armor points. And like I've said before, in a couple of my own streams, is I've got a lad in my alliance, and he does 109s with a set of Punishers with no armor on them, and it's just loaded up with Earthshakers, and an anti-mort and an anti-missile, and that's all he does. And the whole fleet from dead to fixed is less than 8 hours, and he can do his for free. So, Stu, go on, mate.
Sorry, yeah, I was just about to say as well, the Pandemonium one is actually very highly used in the PvP area right now. So I would recommend definitely picking that up, especially for 1 million. Like George just said, that is an absolute steal for that price. I still use it on bits and pieces on my base guard to this day as well. I know that they brought out radiation plates now, which can give you a flat deflection for radiation, but I still do use a couple of Pandemonium morts laying around. Not just for the armor points, the extra radiation defense helps. They're good damage dealers as well.
Yeah, I'll just say, it's slightly frustrating. The one weapon that is really underrated sometimes, which is the D30R, and it's not in the pack as of yet, but we do know there's a weapon coming that's going to give you the same stats, the plus 3%, that sort of stuff, which will work on the Zealous. But that will come out probably in the next round of the FMs, because someone was talking about that on one of the forums. I can't remember what it was, but it's definitely a Kixie forum. So that's not a secret issue. That's definitely coming. So maybe they just thought, what, the D30R's had its day, and this new item will actually do better. So
yeah, I love my D30Rs.
Yeah, I do as well. But it's I can't complain about too much because I think it's a good list. Ren, you had a point, mate. Sorry.
I was just going to pile up on what Stu said about the mortars. I think on the same thread as we were talking in the halls, you have all the options you could possibly need for FM here. So no matter if you get the Nova, Storm, the Berserker, or the Citadel, you have the Judgment, you have the Coaxial, and don't underestimate the Syrian Barrage, because it's actually very light, builds really fast, and you can actually put a whole bunch of them in a fleet and they're deadly, right? So plenty of options. I like the Coaxial Firestorm in base defense, because when the enemy gets closer, it turns into a rocket. So on my Harlock Citadel in base defense and the Vendetta I use when I'm using the Harlock for FM, they actually have some coaxial firestorms for that reason, because they keep firing when attacker gets close.
Okay. I think Brian had something as well. Brian, do you have a point, mate?
Yeah. I was going to go on about how the Judgment Mortar is way too expensive and it's really old and this and that, and then I got reminded the Coaxial Firestorm is kind of hiding over there on the right side. 3.5 million, it's great. It's certainly comparable to the Judgment Mortar. Pandemonium Mortar, I think value for points is the best because it's 1 million. It's really cheap. It's great. The Coaxial Firestorm secret, 1,800 armor points. Repair time, like 4 minutes 20. Something really, really low like that.
Yeah.
It had the same repair efficiency as the Vendetta hull that it came out with. If you want armor for your fleet, put it on. And Stu, go.
I was just about to say, one thing you might forget about the Judgment Mortar, though, is that it nerves when you shoot it down with a countermeasure, which PvP-wise is very, very, very helpful.
Yep. Yeah, it's good for overpowering, obviously, and anti-morts, isn't it, as well, because it makes them blast. And that's what I like to do. I put a range of mortars on mine when I come into attack as well, particularly the Judgments. Then obviously they're fast as well. And I do like some Pandemoniums as well and that sort of stuff because they're a bit slower.
I was going to say on my Vendetta, I run a mix of coaxial and Judgment mortars. And,
yeah, I just think
it's kind of the best for both jobs. So
yeah, because it helps with the reloads and that sort of stuff. So are we generally thumbs up for that set of weapons, guys? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything but that Earthshaker.
There's a slot there I see at the bottom right hand side, so we could put a D30R in there and then be really happy, I think, to be honest.
Yes.
Good. Andrew, next slide, mate, if you mind. So there we go. We've got a picture then. So that's the new launcher.
Squall launcher.
Yeah. So
and I like it because it's kind of like an antipode and a cyclone had a baby.
Yes.
Right.
Rechanging my guard a little bit now.
And it inherited the best of both of them based on preview data, right? I haven't seen the final specs, but based on the screenshots I saw from the preview server, it has very good direct hit damage. It had very good wave damage. multi-shot weapon, was a salvo weapon, but not that many salvos. So it was pretty good, pretty decent. I liked it. And it gave like plus 3% resistances on some damage types, right?
Yes.
So
exactly.
I hope it stays like that in actual game when you see the final specs tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, Andrew, please. Okay, so here we go then. So these are all the specials that are available. There's a good range of specials there. Emissions generator, that's a lovely one to have in there, to be honest. The CL armor, yeah, okay, right up to level 3 should be in there. Yes, it did as well, didn't they? Sealed fire charges back in again, which is good. Interesting price for the incendiary shells. What do you reckon to that one? That seems very, very expensive. 5 million?
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember what that is.
It makes your morts
Leaves a fire field.
sometimes fire.
Yeah, it's
Alright,
really
well,
yeah.
Not really used that very much, so I don't understand the
And you get
price on that.
spread
As
50-something%, isn't it?
No, incendiary shells you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that one gives you a very good chance that the mortars will leave a burning pool of radioactive fire when they hit, and gives them splash, very good splash.
Which can be
You
put
don't
up
get
quite
extra-
nicely.
Yeah, you don't get extra projectile speed like you get from combustion system or explosive system, but you get a similar amount of splash. There's no changes in spread, but again, I mean, if you're raining mortars and 30-40% of them leave that burning pool of fire, they add up, and you get a very significant damage over time.
I remember using it now. I used them on Hell Strikes. With
Hell
negotiating
Strikes,
mortars.
and
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember using it now. I was just going to say as well, going
It's
off
a niche
because of
special.
Centurion.
But it's good. I mean, for like FM fleets and whatnot. The CL3 to me is from the whole list, considering next month it's a siege raid cycle. If they stick to cannon and radioactive damage, and it seems they will based on the whole line, right? That is a very good special to have.
I was literally just about to say the exact same thing. You know, considering the Centaurians in the raid, CL3 would probably be one of the best things to pick up. It's great for base mines as well. So
absolutely, and those didn't get it before, obviously, because there was a tier left and tier right, wasn't there? The hydraulic injector, the hydroxide injector is in there as well, because some people didn't get that because they had to go the opposite side onto the, I think it was the Apollos and that sort of stuff in. So that's it. So bear in mind, it is a whole store and that sort of stuff, and it's not a special store, but they have chucked some specials in for us this time.
I think I know it's calling them a tech store.
A tech, yeah, that's probably good. Yeah,
Superstores. We'll call them superstores.
Yeah.
But I like the CL3. The only thing that I'm seeing that's missing, given the Cannoneers stats, is agility system. I would have liked to see that in there.
Agility System 4.
Agility 4 is on offer.
Any of them.
Agility System 4, I believe, is in the limited.
Hang on then, 2 seconds. Wait a minute.
Right.
But what is nice there is APS is in there. Army Piercing Shells is there, which is a good one as well.
Yeah, it's a good special for people building ballistic Valiants or Malices. That's a very good special to have.
Okay, so
If you're, but before we move on, that's good, especially if you're having arbalests, D110, or crossbows, because they were the ones with piercing, right?
Brian, your point?
And then
this whole, like, a lot of these specials are really showing you what you need for the next raid cycle. Not only the alloy CLs, but there's the reflective coatings in there. That's really good. That's evade and radioactive resist. If you wanted to run kind of a different build, you could run reflective 3 and the layered armor, the Forsaken Researchable 1, and then some R armor to get you a shorter build time and still buff off your resistances normally. Mission Generator is good for the Calamity Scattergun too.
Okay, George, you had a point, mate.
no, I was just on the agility systems that I wanted to see, and the alloys. I said it. The alloy armor I like.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a real big thing coming up.
Okay. So next slide, if you wouldn't mind, then. Should be a piece of artwork. Yeah, there it is. Then. So that's the Flatch, whatever they call it, Flatch, whatever it is.
Feeder.
That's it. So anyway, there's a belt feeder. There we go. Look, looks like a mini-me gun gone wrong, does it, with that barrel? So quite like that. It's quite a good bit of artwork there. Well done, Kicks. Yeah, I think I don't know who's doing their artwork lately, but there's some good stuff.
But the important question is, can it make me a pizza?
Well, I don't know, mate. It's belt fed.
more
A
pizza.
radioactive
You can't
pizza.
make me a pizza. I'm not
You don't
interested.
need any more pizza.
Pixel
It's
pizza.
salad, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good. So there we go. So that's that one then. So straight on to the next slide then.
There's a lot of them saying that they've lost the show, but I've still got it on my mobile.
Okay. Are they saying they might need to refresh? So we'll just pause. We'll just wait. We're not in a rush, so it's okay.
Yeah, just refresh the YouTube page and should be working again.
Yeah.
I do want to add, whoever the hell's doing the artwork has been doing fantastic on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
On
the
point.
whole
That's
the base
good.
design stuff, and all the base stuff that just came out is freaking fantastic. This stuff, I mean, they're doing damn freaking good.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it just dropped out. We literally just dropped 50 viewers. Just literally, I don't know what happened there. Somebody obviously sent a ticket in.
Actually,
Working as
it was more
intended,
than- it was
guys.
more than
Working
50.
as intended.
but I haven't spent money. I can't.
Yeah, you might need to refresh. I mean, there are some Hangout issues lately. I don't know what's going on, so you might need to refresh.
But they're just watching on the YouTube stream, though, aren't they?
They should be.
I think, but like Jeff
Usually.
just said, he refreshed and it's gone completely. The show's gone completely.
Can you just post
ew.
another link, mate, into the YouTube chat, and we'll just let people catch up.
So, one of to
We
fill
just
time.
dropped like 100 people.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Huh.
It stops and starts. I'm not quite sure why that is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
mine
what's
is
going on?
mine is
Well,
too.
So I reckon I know what. See, depending on their internet connection, they may have to reduce the quality of the video they're receiving.
No, because I have mine minimized right now.
That'll make
I-
it buffer, but not drop completely.
Yeah, mine's stuck. My YouTube is actually stuck. My chat's working. The YouTube's stuck.
Okay,
And
well,
my
what we'll do is
settings are
we've
down.
got 187 viewers still watching, so what we'll do is we'll carry on.
We'll
and
just blame George.
and then we'll blame George, and then
Yeah.
people have to just watch it back
Got it.
afterwards, that's all. I mean, it's not a problem.
I see 190 people watching, and I went there. I can hear, but the screen's black for me.
Okay, all right.
Well, everything's working on my mobile phone, so
Yeah.
Everything's working my side, so just carry on. And I'll have to
Okay.
watch it back.
Let's go to the next slide then. Okay, so here we go. This is the price list of turrets. Okay, this is a really good one. I like this then. So basically, it's everything in the kitchen sink by the looks of it. So you've got the Draconian Coax turret in there, which is I'm getting that because it's the one thing I don't have. I never bothered doing that campaign, to be honest. The Deadeye's in there as well. The Drac Scat's in there as well. Frostbite's in there. Cold Snap's in there. Glacial's in there. You know, there's some good stuff.
I'll be getting that glacier.
There's a good hint there about the Wendigo, whether to build it or not to build it, because just the price of it, you know, I don't know, it's up to you. But there's some good stuff, you know, ballista turrets in there, an executioner for 3, I think it's a really good price, and that sort of stuff, you know. So I think it's a great range of turrets, I have to say, you know, far better than I thought we were going to get.
I love the fact that they're actually putting stuff like this in. I mean, this is overdue because, like I said before, people trying to catch up are needing an outlet to actually get the tech in, and it's not coming out in the FM fast enough because of the new stuff that's coming out. So, you know, opening up the hull raids to actually being store raids is a fantastic idea. I think it's going to be good for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glacial. So good. 6 million.
Glacial and Cold Snap.
So good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Cold Snap too if you can swing it.
Just bear in mind, some of these are limited turrets, so obviously you're not going to get. I'd be very surprised. I can't say you're not, because obviously it's subject to review. But I'll be very surprised that some of those items there, if you've already got it, you won't obviously be able to collect it because you've already got the thing. So just
However, if we look at the bottom right, there is handy red text.
there is, but it's still in review at the moment. So until it goes final,
Okay.
don't take this as textbook answer that you are going to get an additional to your previous. So if you do, hey, I'm up for it. You know, I'll be about 300 million points I need to get or something like that. So, you know, but we'll see. So there's some great turrets available for us. So, you know, I think it's a nice spread. I think the prices are reasonable for the turret lists. You know, more than reasonable, in fact, you know. And some people may focus on this more than the other issue now, to be honest. But it's good.
Well, it's
Anyway.
helpful right now, actually, because, you know, with Outpost 9, you get an extra 2 turret spaces, and I was kind of wondering what to do with those 2 turrets, so,
Yeah.
I mean, now I might be able to pick something else up. I mean, it says down the bottom here, increase for Drag Scattergun, Wendigo, Ballista, and Coaxial turret. I mean, if it, you know, does stay like this, subject to change, you know, maybe I might add another Wendigo. Probably not. I don't really like the Wendigo, but you get the point.
I
Yeah.
deleted my one Wendigo, so I don't even have it.
A lot of people have. The only reason I've left mine is solely because I still haven't built those final two turrets yet. You know, especially the two new ones, and just that it took so long to build. And I'm really anti sort of getting rid of that damn thing just in case I might need it in the future. So I've
Right,
just stuck
same
it.
as me. Yeah.
I put it as a frontline turret now, and not a backline turret. Just
Yeah,
so
and the Wendigo is something like 18 days to build. It's one of the longest, if not the longest turret to build is the Wendigo.
yeah, it is strange, isn't it? So does anybody think there's a turret missing there at all that they'd like to see, but it hasn't popped up?
Blunderbuss. Blunderbuss I would have liked to have seen in there. But...
Yeah, I agree.
Good point.
That's true, but that's one of
Blunderbuss
the
and-
TLCs, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just a reminder, people, the regular ballista is available in one of the regular campaigns, so you can get it at any time. Probably why it's not here.
Yeah, there are a couple of things you can get in the regular TLCs, isn't there? So
I was going to say, I'm not too fond of the old Deadeye Ballista. I find that misses more than it hits anyway. So, you know,
No,
I'm
the
not
good
too sure
thing
on
is,
it.
like, I think it's good against hulls such as the Vendetta. Like, if people park the Vendetta and stop them moving on the rim, and the Deadeye Ballista starts firing, it fires like every 2 seconds or something like that, and it's like 2,000-3,000 damage every time it fires. So if people don't pay attention and leave their, it has a strategic use. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I can agree
has to
with
be a
that.
part
I
of the
just,
puzzle.
it's hard for me to commit to a Deadeye Ballista. I mean, I have one normal Ballista in my base right now, and that kind of does what you said. You know, it will hit Vendettas that park too close to a certain side and that, but I can't
that
commit to
scattergun-
building the Deadeye one.
Yeah, and
You
somebody
think the
somebody in
scattergun's gonna go up
chat
to 3?
mentioned, I would like to see another minigun. It's limited to.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the scattergun is supposed to go to 3, but although I'm a little bit short on how useful a third one of them would be right now.
I think for people catching up who are not fond of limited technology because they can only build one and whatnot, just remember the Basilisk is not limited. What else? I think
Frostbite.
most others, the Frostbite's not limited. And the
Coaxial.
Executioner
All the 3 million
is not
Coax.
limited.
All the 3 million ones are not
All the
limited.
3 million, exactly. There you go. All the others are limited. So you get the blueprint once, you can only build one.
Okay, well, there's a good range of turrets there. I like it. I have to say,
sorry, Mark,
it
can I
surprised
say
me.
something?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go.
This came directly from the community on TFC page asking for more opportunities to get turrets.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
We relayed that to Kickside. They took that into consideration, and here you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. No, that was a genuine request from the guys. I have to say, the community asked for it. In fact, I know, Ren, you did it personally. You sent it up there, and we've got the information back, and they've actually added some extras in, but they don't normally add in. So, and that's some of these are really quite hard to get hold of limited turrets as well. So, and that Draconian coax turret, which I keep going on about, that's not been out for some time. I still got it's a good one.
There's only one downfall to that coaxial turret, though. It can't fire at mortars. I believe it's mortars it can't fire at. Whereas the normal version can.
Yeah, the Draconian coaxial cannot fire at mortars. The regular coaxial can, but the big problem of the regular coaxial turret, it has no splash. So it fires at 1 by 1.
Yes.
While
correct.
the Draconian coaxial has splash. So when it fires at the missile, it actually hits a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I put one in and took it back out again, the standard coaxial one, because it wasn't doing enough for me. So.
Oh, God, it has splash. Expanded concussive charge.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See,
Hello.
now Brian's going, hello. Yeah.
I don't have those. I think I might get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. I at some point had 2 Draconian coaxial built. I deleted them all. I'd rather be more offensive and just hurt whoever's coming in instead of trying to defend.
Yep. Good. Okay, so that's the turrets list. So next slide. This is the routine sort of stuff then for your extras then. So there's your shards list. Okay. Notice this time there's no gamma shards. Okay.
Yeah.
In this okay then version of the prize list, we don't see any gamma shards. May have been just an overlook. Don't know.
Sorry,
far,
go ahead. I was just going to say, let's be honest. I mean, now with the Valiant, for instance, or the Malice, do you really need a gamma?
I've taken mine out. I have to say I don't use it now.
You
I'm
know,
about to drop one of mine, and I'm very upset about that. I spent all the time winning them and building them, and now I'm like, oh, I have to retire it.
Oh, it's been a good hull. Don't get me wrong, it's been very good with its thermal use and that sort of stuff, and the fact that you can.
Well, the thermal was the main reason I was reluctant to take it out.
It made a good ballistic hull as well, didn't it? It was excellent for that.
Yeah.
I still got one.
But I have things that can do things as well, and in some areas they can do things better. So I've taken my one out, I have to say. And then tokens. There we go. We got the 24-hour, the 12, and the 1-hour tokens. That's standard, I think, isn't it?
Now we don't know how many of each, because last time they did a tech store in August, they had more tokens than usual.
Yeah, it was like about 11 days total of tokens versus 5 days, 10 hours normally.
The usual is 5 days, 10 hours. Yeah, and then last tech store was more. So right now we don't know how many.
It's usually like 10 days something, I thought.
It's something like that.
Yeah, regular rates, they have 3 24 hours, 4 12 hours, and 10 or 12 1 hours. On
I know is
stores, they usually offer more. We just don't know how many.
It makes the time micromanagement really weird with the quote-unquote 90 million haul, because you won't win that for a few days, and you got to win more points, and you've kind of lost out on a little bit of time back there.
Well, you lost, but then you have more days to do the raid.
Wait, you won't win the first 2 holes for the first few days? What are you doing? I'm planning on sitting in the game for 9 hours. Isn't that what everyone does on the raid?
I've got 4 days off work. I've actually got 4 days off work for this.
And
I've got popcorn to me left, lemonade to me right. I'm good to go. Don't worry.
and a bottle. And a bottle.
Oh yeah, and the bedpan and everything. Yeah, I'm not moving.
Here's another question that I saw in chat. It's a bit late because it's about the slide before, turrets. Have we ever had a second chance at winning that level 4 anti-rocket turret?
No.
No, we haven't.
I think that was offered only once in a very, very hard campaign, TLC.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. I didn't bother.
I got it, and I love it. It actually saves my bacon in my base defense so many times.
I think I have that, and I've yet to build it. I need to build that. I've been putting that off for so long.
Well, you've got a free turret.
If you look at my base layout, it is in a center point covering 4 of my 5 guard ships.
Yeah, I've seen that, mate. Yeah.
So to me, it's a very important component of my defense strategy. Yeah. And I don't think we ever sing that again.
Nope, definitely hasn't come back, mate. No, I know that.
That's a good idea. If Kickstarter is watching, there you go.
Put it in.
Yeah. Next time, or TLC or whatever.
Come on, Doom. Come on. Let's get it in there. Yeah, because I'll have that one as well.
I need one.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, we got another slide or not?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, that's it. So
there is another one. It's just there.
Did I not put it in?
No, you never.
My apologies, mate.
I'll stop sharing, then I'll get there.
Yeah, okay. I'll yeah. That'll be good. Sorry, mate. My apologies. Yeah, we did some last minute changes on the slides and that sort of stuff because I managed to get some extra pictures from GDR. So thanks, by the way, for GD Raking for sending over the extra pictures for us and the list early as well, because I know that obviously the delay of the actual information is for tomorrow, but obviously we wanted to go live tonight and keep to our normal routine timings to obviously help out also some of the other shows as well that are on during the week as well. So it's all about the community. Hey.
So
we do have armor. There's supposed to be armor as well too.
Yeah, that'll be coming. Yeah, it was on Andrew's pack, not mine.
Filling time. They kind of missed an opportunity to troll us in some form or fashion by giving us the Visaga's Punisher again.
There we go.
That's a fair point. There we go. So that's the armor list then, which is good because it's nice to see D5E back in because that hasn't been around for a little while. Apart from
I like the bottom.
Yeah, and the Gales. Yeah, Gales are in. People like Gales, don't they?
I have enough Gales, but I love seeing the hydraulic resistors and agility system 4.
They're hard to get, aren't they? Yeah, they're very hard to get.
Hydra, especially now.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, though, that Zinth, the D5ST, a lot of people passed on it last time, but now that we're looking at the Cannoneer special abilities, if you're stuck with, if you can't get that 90 million to get that, you might want to invest in some of these to throw onto your Centurions. I'm just saying.
Isn't that Conqueror only?
Why?
Isn't that Conqueror only?
I don't think so.
But why would you use the D5ST on it, George?
It's the stun resistance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it is, yeah.
Well, the Cannoneer has stun immunity. I'm pretty sure they didn't put it on there for no reason.
Use
You know
Edgy4.
what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Just
see
enjoy
your
the
point.
system
The
for-
Cannoneer has stun. Okay,
Yeah.
I see your point.
Immunity. It's
It might
absolutely
be
immune to
important
stun.
next month. Okay.
It may be, yeah.
Correct.
I think
I
George
think
should
it'll
write
be
a,
important.
you should write a
That's why I
review on
was
it,
looking.
George.
That's why I was looking for the agility system in the regular, the
Which
regular
is there as
3.
well, which is nice to see, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, but I didn't see the regular ones 1 to 3
No,
in
no,
the special section.
but it's
And
good to
haven't
see.
they been offered in FM anytime?
They have,
recently?
yeah. Just to
Have they?
hasn't
Okay.
it?
Can't
I
have
don't
them, George. God's sake,
Man,
there's
I
so
don't.
many-
I'm caught up on my FM. I don't freaking know.
D5ST is not Conqueror only. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. So a good list of armors there. I like them. Yeah, it's nice that actually some of the D2s are in there as well, because they're nice just as stocking fellas, just to go, well, I've got a spare slot, I don't use it. Or you know, particularly the D2E, it's a great one because obviously some of the Conqueror holes, obviously you can't use anything else to boost your stats, but actually you can gain some evade. You know, so it's a nice little thing to chuck on.
Yeah, the only detail, I think it's the only one of them that gives you some deflection is the D5C.
Yeah, D5R won't do it.
No, exactly.
No.
So yeah, that's good news, that is there. Right, blimey, flipping it. We've seen race through that there. So there were a couple of points just to reiterate there then. So the hulls, okay. So you've got to get the Zoe's Vendetta first, obviously, before you can get the Cannoneer. The combined sum then is 90 million points. I'll say that, 90 million points. Okay, but you do get 2 ships for that. There are some cracking holes there, and I think definitely, you know, Punisher, that sort of stuff. If you still want it, it's still a good workhorse. Tideseeker's there, but the nice one, which I think is a fantastic price, is a Centurion. And I think if you're a low-level player that you're just trying to sort of get onto things and do your base and square yourself away, you can't go wrong with getting that hull, to be honest. And the pack cannon maybe that goes with it, that sort of stuff, because they were designed together, those two things. Just bear that in mind. Anything else, guys? What are your thoughts? Anything you want to say?
I wanted to speak to the 90 million cost overall. I mean, you are getting 2 hulls, and I know people are going to flip out about that cost. I know. I can see. I have one reservation of it. On the one hand, I'm not going to have a problem with this so long as players are not locked out from being relevant in the next grade set. You know, and it sounds like Kixeye has taken this into consideration and are going to, you know, kind of set everything up appropriately. If that's the case, all the power to them. It's a fantastic idea. The one drawback that I see is that I don't want them. I don't want to get caught in the idea of, you know, hey, we don't have Centurions right now. We got to build them for the next raid, and then next raid I'm going to win the Cannoneer, and then I have to build another fleet, you know, going forward. I know this is going to get better as time progresses because of the way they have everything setting up for transitions, and we won't see this again after all the raid sets go through. But it is one little catch that people should be aware of and keep in the back of their head. But overall, so long as they keep players relevant, I'm good with this. Even that high price, because you're getting 2 hulls for 1.
And keep I mean, there's one variable in there we don't have any good information to go on about, is the Ironclad. All we know is there will be a hull called Ironclad. It's also designed to do next raid cycle. It will not be as good as the Cannoneer. It's pretty much going to be a Tideseeker for the next cycle. So it's good. Yeah. It's easy. The Cannoneer will be the high precision, high skill, needs attention kind of hull. If you do it right, it's the best one. But if you don't want to get overly stressed about doing raids, the Ironclad is your better option. The Ironclad, it's going to be sort of kind of, I think, what is it that Doom said in forums, that was going to be like a set for tier A and the Cannoneer for tier A?
Yeah, it's the tier 5 hull, and it's the one that if you wish to auto things, it should, if you build it right, auto tier 5 for you. So if you're on a mobile phone, that sort of stuff, it should be great.
Yeah, I think people should be aware that if you get the Centurion now and you spend time building the Centurion, maybe even then they're only going to be your plan B, because maybe the Ironclad, it's going to be easy to get. We don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe you get tokens to do it. We don't know. And they're going to be your go-to option. We don't know, right? I mean,
and that Generalist, the Zealous, obviously that is what the launch is for. Okay, so just remember that launcher is designed for Zealous, but I can also see it being put on quite a few other ships, including in your base as well.
Vanquisher,
yeah. I think it's ideal, to be honest. So quite a lot going on, quite a lot to consider. I'll just have a quick chat, if you wouldn't mind, for a minute, and just review my stream, which I'm probably going to cut down now tomorrow, because a lot of people are saying, oh, there's a lot in there, a lot of content. So what I'm going to do for the community is I will produce a shortened video, probably no more than 4 minutes, 5 minutes long at the maximum. Each of the builds we went through, I'll clip out from the stream the actual hit, which will probably last about 30 seconds. So I'll do it in ×2, and then I'll put the build up, and then in the information, once I put it up as well, I'll put all the links, and then obviously we can grab Andrew and he can put it up on the website for us, because I think we went through about 6 different Tideseeker builds in the end. I think it was between us, all admins, that were in for the period of time. So it'll give you a bit of a hint as to what you prefer. I'm not going to tell you what you should build, but what you may prefer, what you might prefer, and that sort of stuff, and what fits with obviously the equipment you've got available, sort of stuff. So there were some quite interesting, surprising results, I think, in that stream, to be honest. And thanks, guys, for coming in, joining, and helping me out on that one. It was quite interesting.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. The thing I did like to say about it as well, okay, it was the first little iteration. I like to just go and look at the targets. I honestly do think, within probably a half an hour to an hour, I can get a 107 done for free. I do think if they keep it the same, but obviously it's a preview stream, it's not necessarily the target that's going to come out in the raid. Okay, so just bear that in mind.
We already have a couple ideas on that one. Actually, I have something to say, but I think Brian was waiting as well, so I'm going to let him go first, and then I'm going to add something to what I said about the Cannoneer.
Yeah, so looking forward, this is kind of going to be on Kixeye. Again, I think, as you said, George, to tune the raid for Centurions and maybe Punishers. Like, those should be able to do well. The Cannoneers should be able to slay your enemies and dance on their corpses if you want to charge us 90 million a month in advance. Also, because the weapon and special aren't released yet, I feel like this could be a bit of a push towards, like, teaching people, hey, build a hull, put an okay weapon on it, go out and rank it, and then you get the good stuff and then put it on there. Although that might be an awkward thing with a time crunch depending on where they release it in the month. Also, if you miss this hull right now, you're going to be a hull behind in January. Presumably you're going to have the 2 lines and you will be able to pick the Cannoneer but not the PvP hull that they're releasing. So you'll be a hold behind until maybe the whole store raid. And I feel like that's a little backwards. It kind of punishes people who could be overachievers in the siege, in the current form, in the then current format, the siege format, that might not have been able to spend 90 million points like the week before Christmas or finals week for students, or I am working, this weekend. So it's a little strange to me. George, go.
Yeah, you actually touched on it a little bit. If you're just getting into getting the Centurion this time, don't go all out on the build. I mean, you're going to need an engine. Put some of that stuff on it. I would build them blank, hit them in the VXP, and then set each one of them up with the minimum that you need. That way, if they come out with a TLC, or if they come out and say, hey, we're going to release X, Y, or Z, and you want to put it on your hull, you don't have to refit a full refit. You actually can just go in and fill in the blanks. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's generally that's how I build all my stuff, is blank hull first, rank it, and then I'll throw in bits and pieces at a time, because you never know when you're going to need your shipyard for something as well. So
yeah, chunk it up. It's the best way to do it. And obviously, if your R&D's up as well, it's always better to build a blank first and then to refit it, because your bonus points. Yes. Obviously, if you look at your R&D, you get a quicker build time by building the blank first and then refitting. Actually, you get a greater percentage of boost from your R&Ds. So yes, it's definitely worth doing.
So,
absolutely.
Go on, I was just going to say, my plan, right, is to get the Cannoneer, and then of course I have to get the Zol Vendetta, which is going to be cool. After I get the Cannoneer, I'm going to be focusing on, if I didn't have, just saying for the raid, I would go for the CL3 special. I would get the RC Reactive Coating 3. I would get the D5C and D2C armors, and some of the cannons if I didn't have them. So I'm just trying to set people who are trying to say, okay, what do I get for next raid cycle or for mines? I would go with that set. And I'll replace Cannoneer if that's out of your range. For Punisher or Centurion, the other things don't change, right?
Yeah, Centurion's going to be a really worthwhile hole. So yeah, if you haven't got it already, nip it. Go and grab it. You know, it's definitely worth having. Even if you don't intend to build it just yet, I would definitely go and grab a Centurion. You know, it's not so many points. If you never build it, you've really lost. You've messed up your raid and that sort of stuff. But it's enough points to say, do you know what? Actually, I'll just put that in the pocket and I'll forget about it and I'll get on and build something else. But I would grab it now. It's not a thing that comes out very often. And just by doing normal stuff, you're going to get it sort of up in the foundry as well. So, well,
Plus,
if
it's a pain in the ass to get from the foundry.
yeah, I have to say it's a pain in the ass because foundry
Yeah.
bits aren't dropping at the moment. Again, there's another issue with the foundry. I know everybody's complaining that foundry parts aren't dropping. They're getting the second bit, they're not getting the first bit. So, it's
And the other thing is, I think it was hammered to death already. So sorry, but it's like we're gonna have tokens in the raid, and assuming, because we don't know that for sure, but assuming the XP weekend is the one after raid as usual, with those tokens we should be able to get whatever you get new: Centurion, Punisher, Cannoneer. Get 3 of them if you can. That's my magic number when I'm not sure how many ships I need in a fleet. Right, get 3 of them with just maybe 1 weapon and speed system 5 or hydraulic resistors, whatever. Just ready for ranking and suicide them on targets a couple times during the weekend. I mean, even if you don't skull them, because to get them skulled probably you have to coin, but you can get them to 40, 50, 60% rank, usually for free.
okay. So I think we'll just come to a close. Couple of points I just want to quickly raise, if you wouldn't mind, guys. One is if you're thinking about grease monkeys, if you've got some, okay, then don't stack them on your subs if you're going to go out to hit them. Leave them in your base. Bring your subs back, drop them into the slot that's got the grease monkey and fix them that way. Clearly, as you know, as you take damage with a grease monkey, the one that's getting damaged is going to go ahead all the time. So you can't stack, and you're going to go cause yourself more and more and more damage the worse it gets. So that's just a raid tip. Okay, we've said it many times before, but some people still don't seem to understand. So leave the grease monkey or Karut alone, and leave, unless you're on Tideseeker or something that's different then. But if you're using obviously subs, Hellrace, etc., then just leave that inside your base. And 2 pics I picked up in the chat there from guys. So before the raid starts, have a scan around all the pages, okay? And I'm a great believer in supporting all the pages. But look at the Facebook tokens. I know at the moment GameStop have got something going on in the US for those who are there, and Woolies down in Australia as well. They've got a deal on at the moment as well. So jump into either of those stores, and apparently they've got 20% off at the moment on your Facebook tokens. So that's going to make your raid a little bit sweeter, I think, for those that do coin. Closing points. Closing points across the board. Yeah. Go on, George.
Target actually has the 20%. I don't know about GameStop. I think someone mentioned that they actually do the same thing, but the only one I've seen so far is Target. And one catch that I did find out the hard way, because the Target ad is on the Facebook game card page on Facebook, if the store does not know that they're on sale or they don't have them listed on sale, if you actually bring in your phone and show them that ad on Facebook, they generally will do the deal for you.
Yeah. So the only thing is that unfortunately they're not doing it online, because I was using that before online. They're only doing it in store, which is annoying. They want you to go in and buy their purchases and whilst you're in there as well. Okay, George.
Some people said that they were going in and it wasn't even on sale in the store. They had to actually show them the posting so they could get the sale.
Okie dokie. All right, good points. Ren, closing points, mate?
Yeah, 2 things. Everyone is hung up on the price point of the Cannoneer and the Zoe Vendetta and everything. One variable, or 2, that we don't know how much an elite set's going to pay, right? So we know last month the 105 alone was paying 3.6 million points. Is that right? 3.6?
For last time, it was.
Last one. So now they're adding the 107, and I know it will pay more. I don't know how much more. So it can be 5 million total when you kill them both plus the bonus. It can be 6. It can be 7. I have no idea.
About 6.8 or something like that.
Yeah, if it's anywhere over 6, I mean, then you're talking about 15 elite sets to score 90 million points. over 6 days. It's not a grind, honestly. If you have the right fleets and you were doing it before, 15 sets and let's say, and you get 90 million points, it's not crazy, right? My other point is, if you cannot get the Cannoneer now, don't despair. Next raid, it's going to be at the regular price point for ships. And I think, I don't have confirmation, but I think that's going to be around 15 million points as usual.
And maybe 9 for the other one, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I think it's going to be, and maybe the Ironclad is going to come in a TLC, and we'll see how, if that TLC is as easy as the Tide Seeker TLC was, it's going to be great. We don't know all those things, so all I'm going to say is, like, don't start obsessing and bitching and whining everywhere, forums and pages, before we have all the variables, right?
I think the only thing I'll just say on that one before I move across to Stu next is, bear in mind that we're now moving to 3 raid cycles and not 4 raids in a cycle. So just think about, do I need this hull? Can I find something else? Do I have something else? So there's talk about the raid cycles going down by 1 month. Is that right, Ren? Just to confirm that. Is that possible? Is that the cycles are changing or something like that? Or are we going into a new cycle and we're not sure what's going forward yet?
I heard. Sure. I mean, I think the BV last week mentioned about the.
Yeah, it was mentioned on BV. So is that not confirmed?
No, I don't have anything official. Okay. I know it's being discussed, but I don't have anything official about it.
Okay, so because I didn't see anything official and that sort of stuff. I know you're on the town hall, so it's not to be released. Okay, then, so it's no confirmation at all. So I'll just say that we're going to dispel that rumor for now, then, on this show, because we only talk truth. Okay,
it is an idea, right? It's an idea, but from an idea to something that's released, it's a long way.
Yeah, I mean, it was announced on the BV and that sort of stuff, and I thought, so I haven't seen that anywhere officially.
No.
So I know you're on the town hall. So okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. That was all, because I was a bit concerned that that someone's throwing out information that maybe they shouldn't. So okay, good. Thanks for that, Stu. Your closing thoughts, mate, please.
Well, the first closing thought is, I mean, I know everyone's bragging on about the price of the Cannoneer and the Zoe's Vendetta, but I believe that the Cannoneer will also have a secondary use as well. So, I mean, it looks like it's built very well to do those base mines. So, you know, there's a little bit of light there for the price justification. So, you know, maybe you should try out. Yeah, if you can get that 90 million, go ahead and get it now. You know, it's done. It's job done. If you can't get that 90 million, Ren's already said, and everyone else has already said, the Centurion's a very valid option. You know, 1.7 million, that's a bargain. It's brilliant. You know, so, but like I said, I think the Cannoneer could be the new ship for base mines as well. I'm not 100% on that, though. It just looks like it's designed for it. Depends on the stats when it comes out.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Thanks, mate. Brian, thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I believe it was Ren that mentioned something about the 2-target S set. And that is a very valid point, even though you'll only be getting about half the points, let's say, kill target, but not completion for the earlier S target. There's the other one. I believe last time it was 2 million for the old, 3 million for the new, completion bonus 5. So an S set there was 10 million, but that required the God tier flagships, gold out, and everything. So I feel like this will be lower, maybe 6 to 8 million for a set, but I don't know. And again, watch for videos, watch the pages. I'm an Epsilon. That means I avoid the BS when every raid starts. That is all the problems with adding the targets and this and that and the spawn issues and everything that happens and is fixed. I dodge all that by being an Epsilon. Maybe you want to come. Pretty nice place. But I can also see all the streams. People like to stream in alpha. People will have videos out real quick because people will figure things out real quick in alpha. Post a video. By the time I'm back home from work, I can see probably 107, is it? The new one being done for free. Learn mechanics. Go to work. Have my full allotment of 144 hours all set. So just, it may sound mean. It may sound like bad or something. Wait and let everyone else do the work for you. That is about 80% of my success in this game. It sounds really bad, but the rest of you lot, please be my meat shield, and I will learn from you. It won't go to waste, I promise.
Thanks, Brian. That's good comments, mate. Because that's why I used to sit in 400, because then I let the other worlds jump on first. Anyway, Andrew, not last but least, mate. And first, I'm going to say thank you for the slides, mate, and obviously thank you for digging me out blind and putting up the last one of the armor slots as well, the armor points prizes. Sorry.
One more thing towards the community.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I'm too sure, or if you've forgotten what the raid targets of previous raid has been, and you're wishing to learn a few other tricks on how to maybe accomplish more points this time around. If you head over to the Forsaken Council website, and you'll be able to see videos of the last raid, and I'll be uploading the preview server of the 107.
Super. Thanks, mate. Okay. You got any points? Any points you want to quickly raise about the prize pack list for this raid?
I just hope I'm actually able to do the 107.
Yeah. It'll make a big change to a lot of people if we can get them both done. Good. Okay. So if that's it for tonight, I'll just say thanks for everybody tuning in. At one stage, we did have 320 individuals on our show tonight, so that's good news. Which is, I think, the most we've ever had, to be honest. Oops.
George has a theme.
Yeah, but it was good. Thanks all for tuning in, and thanks for your comments in chat. They're always appreciating that sort of stuff, because obviously we're players, okay, and that's all we are. We're just players that give a damn. And that's it. So, there are as equal a good a player sometimes in the chat, and sometimes even better. So we'll take advice from you as well. That's why it's a community page. So by the time we come back online, we'll be into the raid. It'll start and that sort of stuff, and then we'll have our open mic, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion about how things are going on. Enjoy it. Okay, then remember, obviously, that the absolute confirmed prize list and the stats then for some of those holes obviously will be out properly before we get to the open mic on Saturday night. So it'll be very interesting to see what people's thoughts are about it. Okay, I'll just say good night. Take care.
All right, good night.
Night, everybody.
Night, guys.